Welcome back, everyone. As I promised, we have the amazing Chantal Dubois.
Hi.
Welcome.
Thanks for having me.
Oh my gosh, such a pleasure to have you.
Likewise.
So Chantal and I met at a speaker slam, the topic of which was health and fitness, or motivation and fitness, right? Mm-hmm. And she was actually the winner of that evening's competition.
Yes.
And even before she actually won, I had gone and spoken to her because I was swept away and awestruck by everything that she shared.
Yeah, thank you so much. It was an amazing event. I was nervous when they called my name and I won. I couldn't believe it.
Oh my gosh.
Such a great feeling. And all the other speakers were so fabulous.
Everyone, yes, for sure.
Yeah.
But the main thing is about your spirit, Chantal, and everything that you've lived to date. Mm-hmm. Like, it was just so heart-wrenching. And I think everyone was able to, identify and share in everything that you've gone through. Yeah. So please introduce yourself.
Hi, my name is Chantal Dubois. Long story short, my journey started when I was in a car accident. It was 7 cars in the incident, and I was unconscious at the scene, and I was rushed to the emergency. And from there, I had to do 3 years of rehab. So I had like extreme back pain. I couldn't walk. I couldn't hold anything. It was really a bad situation. I was on a lot of medication to numb the pain. And during that time, I became a chronic binge eater. So I was eating...
something to make you feel better, right?
It was comfort to me.
Yeah, that's right. And food can do that.
So I was eating, like I would wake up in the middle of the night every 2 hours, and I would consume large amounts of food, anything I could get my hands on. And the weight started piling on, and the depression started, and I was just spiraling in a really deep, dark hole. And I decided I didn't want to live my life like that no more. I had a daughter who I had to, be strong for. So I actually found a trainer myself.
Yes.
Super K, and I started training with him. But I also need the nutrition aspect. So I went online and I looked at York University's nutritional information. I started studying nutrition, and I started making my own meal plans. And then I ended up losing 75 pounds in 5 months.
That's amazing. Yeah. And what I'm really interested to know, Chantal, is what was that impetus or that spark that ignited within you that you're like, you know what, no more?
Yeah, I think it really was the binge eating. I was hiding it from everybody. I was doing
I was
embarrassed. Like my boyfriend, he didn't have any idea what was going on. No one knew except for my daughter because she was there. And I just remember going to try on a top one time and I didn't fit into a small or medium or even a large. I had to get an extra large, and I was like, what? I'm an extra large now?
When did that happen?
Yeah. And then one of the episodes I was binge eating and I ended up turning on the stove and going back to sleep. And so that was actually the situation. I was like, whoa, I have a problem. Yeah. So I went to seek help, and they told me that I should find another way to deal with the pain and the depression I was going through. And that's when I found the gym, and everything just magnified from there.
Amazing. Yeah. Well, I know that there are multiple benefits of working out, and one of them is the release of the endorphins, right? Yes. And the neurotransmitters, which actually elevate your spirits.
Yes. Yeah, and a lot of people will tell you when they do work out, you'll see that they're just so much more motivated because of that. Yeah. A lot of people, their businesses get better, their self-confidence is heightened, and so much other things, just everything in life just gets so much better when you start conquering your own body weight, which is very hard to do. So it really gives you a sense of feeling like you can really achieve anything. And I think once I lost the 75 pounds, it made me realize I can do anything. If I really, because it's a lot of hard work. So if I could put in that hard work and actually start looking good and feeling good again, and now people want to follow me and do the same thing, I'm like, what else can I do, So I started digging, and I'm like, you know what, let me become a trainer, because a lot of people are reaching out to me and they wanted the same goals as me. So,
absolutely. Yeah. And it's because so many people can relate to you. You have such a real story.
Thank you.
Yes, very much so. So when you started researching at York University, did you then enroll in the university? And
no. I didn't have the money, actually. So I did a lot of just internet searching. I read a lot of books, and I'd even sit into any type of forum that I could sit in on. And I just really gained the knowledge. I just don't have the paper, but I have the knowledge.
Yes.
So I just started researching like crazy. I was always in the library looking up nutrition and all that, and it just fell into my lap, really.
Yeah, it's amazing. And there really is so much that we can self-study and acquire that knowledge.
100%. Yeah. It's just a matter of like getting out there and going and to do it. It's not easy to do, right? A lot of people don't really want to go out there unless they're like registered into a course or something. But me personally, if it's out there and it's accessible to me and it's free, like why not? You know what I mean? It's an opportunity that you're sitting on. We just have to get up and go.
For sure.
There's just a lot of people, you know?
Yeah,
they're a little more
that
reluctant.
first step.
Yeah.
I believe it's a quote by Martin Luther King Jr. that if you can't walk, crawl, but basically take those baby steps, whatever they may be, to just get there.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's always the first step, right?
And I know I'm very hard. But once you take that first step, it's like you're running after that.
Yes.
But that first step, it's so hard. You fall a few times before you even get to that first step.
Aww.
Yeah, so it's like that process kind of scares people a lot, but not me.
But it's really good for you. Yes, that's why we're also proud of you. But even if you think in terms of physics, it takes time to gain that velocity and momentum. But once it's there, it just grows.
Yeah, exactly.
So you have a video which you kindly shared with us, which we will be playing as well, which is how bad do you want it? Yeah. Because that's what it's all about, right? Yeah. So you wanted it bad, right?
I did.
For sure.
I had an eviction notice on my door. So I hit a hard time, and at the same time I got fired from my job. And so I had
they say, when it rains, it pours.
It pours, I know. And I have a daughter. So I had to find a way to make a living. So that's how bad I wanted it, for her mainly. Yeah. So I just went to the stairwell. And in my apartment building, I'm like, this is all I have. And it was just a little space. But I looked at it for like a couple hours. I just sat on the stairwell thinking. And I'm like, you know what? I just contacted my 4 clients at the time. And I'm like, meet me in the stairwell. I have a studio. And they showed up. And I was like, hi. And I just did. Like, here we are. Yes. But I started training them. And you could tell they were a little like hesitant. Like, she brought us, but I was like, come on. I didn't give them time to process the fact that they're in the stairwell. And then we also had tenants who would be walking by in the stairwell and like stepping over us, and like, they're like, what are you guys doing? You're just in a little, but I'd be like, hey, how are you? Help is
help.
Yeah. I just play it off, and then it just grew. And before you knew it, I literally was training like 20, 30 people in the stairwell. I couldn't believe it. Yes. And then I got kicked out of the stairwell.
Oh,
so it was like,
they found out.
Yeah. Somebody put in actually an anonymous complaint,
wow.
Which wasn't true. They said how they fell over my equipment, and the safety inspector showed up, and they kicked me out the stairwell. So I was driving around that night. It was like 6 o'clock. And I was driving around for so long with my friend, and it was like 11 o'clock in the night. We still didn't find nothing. I was crying. I was like, what am I going to do? And then finally somebody opened up the door to me, and they agreed to rent to me, and I just made that space my studio. Yeah, and that's where I am right now.
That's beautiful. Good for you.
Thank you.
Something that you mentioned in that video is, your sense of embarrassment of first going in there, and now speaking with you about it, you're like, I made the best of it. Yeah. So going back to what I had shared initially, it's never the situation, it's our reaction to the situation.
Yes. Yeah.
And it seems like everything that comes our way, and you've had a lot come your way. So what is it that keeps on propelling you forward? I know you mentioned your daughter, but it really seems to be something that comes from within you.
Yeah. You know what, like, there's actually a quote that resides with me too. Actually, it's from my dad, and he used to say it to me. I'd be like, 2 things. He would say, a bad thing never happens. And he would say, if you can't change a situation, change the way you think about it. Yeah. So that resides in me, and every time I'm placed in a bad situation, I think about those 2 quotes. Bad thing never happened. So I got fired from my job, and now I have nowhere to train. Yeah, and now, like, if I was still there, I would not be embarking on the amount of success that I am. I would still be there, not searching clients and just, making whatever I was making and not really moving anywhere in life, So that's the bad thing that never happens. And then if you can't change a situation, change the way you think about it. Yes. So I couldn't change the fact that I was unemployed and about to be evicted. So I changed the way I thought about it when in the stairwell started training people, and like those two, you know, sayings reside in me, and I use that to like move forward all the time.
And they are very true because, you know, oftentimes we think, oh my God, what a catastrophic event that I'm going through. But if we just, you know, break through it and keep moving forward, we realize, wow, if this didn't happen, I wouldn't be where I am today.
Yeah.
And it truly has been a blessing for you and all the people that you've trained.
Yeah, I'm so passionate about helping people.
Yes.
Like, and when I was a kid and I ran into my high school teacher and she was like, you know, you always said you wanted to do something that involved helping people, but I never knew what that was. That's why I took sociology in university.
Yes.
And wasn't sure how I was going to use it. So it's just funny how I embarked on the fitness thing and I'm doing that, helping people, which is what I'm really passionate about.
Yeah, and we can really sense all that passion within you.
Thank you.
And you have had amazing results.
Yeah.
I know that we have some before and after pictures of Chantel's clients, and we will be sharing them with you. But for now, we are going to go on a brief break, and when we return, we will continue our conversation with Chantel Dubois.
My weight gain didn't start until maybe like 3 years after I started to deal with depression. I wasn't limiting myself. Pretty much anything that I wanted to eat, I ate. It affected my confidence. It affects you when you're socializing with people. It affects me in my job. I started with Chantel in January of this year, and then as soon as I started, like I would say within a few weeks, like I started noticing a huge change. What kind of made me want to make a change was realizing that like by doing small actions and small efforts over a period of time will get me where I want to be. She guided me with my eating habits and was that support. It was like a huge change because for me, it wasn't just physical activity that I struggled with before, it was my eating habits.